What is going on, guys? Welcome back. Commentary for you. Today, EA kind of crossed a line that I didn't think would be crossed. And it's interesting because when I started the videos this year regarding the Yard, I actually prefaced things like this would happen. A lot of people disagreed with me. So I think the real challenge you have to understand here is the word purchase is used. And I know to a lot of people, they're going to look at this and say, oh, it's just you playing a lot of games, grinding in solos, grinding in the Yard, earning cred. And then as a reward for how much you're spending in the game, time-wise, you're provided additional clothing or benefits or options for your character. The problem that I have is this. Number one, this is the only licensed NFL simulation game on the market. So for them to come out and have any type of purchase needed or available for a player in terms of their gear and team, that to me starts to blur that line between what are we doing with this game. Are we an arcade fun microtransaction game like the Yard, or are we NFL simulation football, which we paid the exclusive rights to get? Because when you look at George Kittle drop, right, that means George Kittle clothing, George Kittle apparel within the Yard, which at some point is going to require a purchase from the user. So when I first came out this year and I talked about the microtransactions in the Yard and how I thought it was distasteful for this company to actually offer digital clothing that needed to be purchased, there were a number of people in the community that pushed back against me and said this was not going to be the case, that EA would not be doing this, it was not structured this way, and we learned that it is actually, in fact, structured this way. And the real problem didn't just start here, but it really continues here. Because the challenge that I see with what the Yard is bringing is it's having people get the community feedback issues resolved, but not in the way that we're asking it to be done. And I'll tell you the prime example of this. If you go look at the mouthpiece issue, mouthpieces have been asked for in Madden for years, okay? Obviously, we know this year they were put in. And you can go and search a number of videos, a number of images that in the actual game itself, in Madden itself, whether you're playing regular season, whether you're playing Play Now, whether you're playing online franchise, which you can't do right now, we'll talk about in a moment, or regular franchise. When you go into the replay, the mouthpieces do not sit on the player right. They go through their face, in their face, up their face. The reason I feel that's a problem is this. When you look at the Yard, there is not a replay. So the only issue EA has is, in selling these mouthpieces, is how can we make it appear on the player's face, and how can we show it on the avatar so the gamer wants to buy it? Once that's done, there's no need to do anything else. They don't need to have a real concern with how it looks when the actual gameplay for the Yard is so unrefined from a graphic standpoint. If you look at this image right here, and this is from their trailer, you is understandably making sure that what the gamer pays for is visibly seen in the field of play. And that's what they do. The pants, the gloves, everything here you can see. The helmets. But in the actual game, they don't need to actually show them that same way. And when you go into replays, obviously the game looks very disjointed with how some of these things are carrying over. So to take that one step further, today to come out at a time where we know online franchise is not functioning, and to offer to gamers to go into the Yard and grind out solos or to earn whatever type of online currency they want, and as the reward for that, earn this George Kittle apparel, that creates a real challenge for me as a gamer. Because to me, that works against everyone saying, don't go buy Madden. If you buy Madden, you're part of the problem. If you buy Madden, you're supporting the game and you're allowing this to happen. That shows me that all EA needs is for you to go into the game. And even if the game modes in it don't function properly, they don't care because their main focal point is getting you over to a microtransaction-based game. Whether it's the Yard, whether it's Superstar KO, whether it's Madden Ultimate Team. The problem is none of those game modes actually focus around simulation football because Madden Ultimate Team runs in competitive mode, the Yard runs in backyard football, and we really don't even know what Superstar KO is at this point. So you can't sell someone a product, fail to deliver it, and then hope that people go and spend time in other game modes that aren't based on the core product you're selling. And then you take things that those core gamers want, implement them into the other game modes, but only do so properly in that mode and have the other game modes not have it reflected properly. That's a big problem. That's a huge problem. And to me, the reality is this is where the game is going. They want you in the Yard. They want you spending your most time here. But when it's coming time to sell you the game, they're not selling you on the Yard, right? Go back to the video I did yesterday, realistic open field tackling, player movement. They sell you everything Madden 21 will have from an actual simulation football gameplay. But when it's actually in your hands, they don't deliver that in the hopes that you're going to wind up in one of these other clunky arcade modes. It's so bad right now. You literally can't make these things up. If you think about where we are as a community, okay? A lot of us did know that there was going to be an NFL season. That's a very valid argument, okay? Thankfully, there is. Okay, there's been some issues, there's been some delayed games, but for the most part, I think every one of us can agree we were concerned there would be a season. So at what is the height of the NFL season, the excitement around football should be at an all-time high. Yet you have Madden streamers today that can't draw enough views simply playing Madden that they're doing mukbang challenges. If that isn't a reflection of where the community is, then I don't know what else you need to see. Thankfully, there are people in the community like myself that are still supported whether we're showing gameplay or not. But it's clear that the streaming numbers of this game have fallen off significantly. And whether that's because other sports titles have released, you could make that argument. I would make an argument that it's because this game is so stale and repetitive and boring that people don't want to play it themselves, much less watch someone else play it. And the reason for that is they're pushing them all out into other game modes. And pushing you into those game modes, whether they're giving you credibility for playing it or not, they're hoping to get those microtransactions. So when you say don't buy the game, it doesn't matter whether you buy the game or not, because you're going to have every gamer in these modes at some point regardless, whether it's because their online franchise broke and they still want to play some football today, or whether it's because they just go here because they only have a limited amount of time to play and they don't want to invest into a full game. At that point, EA is serving the easiest resolution for them to make money, which is fine. Make all the money you want in your game, but sell me the product and then give me that product, deliver me that game, and then make your money outside of it. Don't sell me simulation football, but try to make all your profit in the Yard and Madden Ultimate Team. It doesn't work that way. That's not fair to the customer. If you want to sell these game modes, then put them standalone. Make it just like a mobile game. Madden the Yard mode. Buy that mode, make all the money you want in that mode. I don't care. But giving me these extra game modes for free, hoping I'll wind up in them and giving me microtransactions to purchase things and then fracturing other game modes isn't working anymore. This isn't how the NFL exclusive agreement should work. This isn't the quality of a game that should bear any type of exclusivity. You're delivering a product that does not function, and then you're promoting other game modes to sell me things. Whether someone buys the game or not doesn't change that relationship EA has with its gamers. And that's what has to be fixed. And it has to be fixed when people look at this stuff and they say, listen, this isn't acceptable. We're not going to buy this even if we have to do it through in-game currency. You shouldn't be selling me NFL apparel in an NFL exclusive game. That's all there is to it. But when we allow things like this to go by without saying anything, that's bigger than don't buy the game. Because people will get the game for free anyway. We've seen that this year more than any other time. With that said, Axis Football has a functioning franchise mode, which I'm going to start to do some breakdowns on tonight. I appreciate you guys watching this video, and hopefully you share it. And if you disagree with me about this, let me know. But I just don't know how people can be comfortable with the state of this game right now, from the actual game in the console to the way the community is having to deal with it. Appreciate you checking this out, and you know I will be back in the week with more commentary.